Hello, YouTube family and friends. It's the Reverend Dr. Weta Lee, and I'm coming to you today with another story from Wow, What a Ride. You know, when you've lived as long as I have, there are so many stories that you have encountered and so many things that you want to tell the world about. My life is not any different from many other lives, but I want to share with you today, because this is Mental Health Awareness Month. I want to share with you my story about mental health. But first, I want to share a scripture with you, and later you'll understand why. This scripture today is 1 Corinthians chapter 13, and I'm reading from the New Living Translation, and it reads, "If I could speak all the languages of earth and of angels, but didn't love others, I would only be a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. If I had the gift of prophecy, and if I understood all of God's secret plans and possessed all knowledge, and if I had such faith that I could move mountains and didn't have love, I would be nothing. If I gave everything I have to the poor and even sacrificed my body, I could boast about it. But if I didn't love others, I would have gained nothing." This is my favorite part. Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. It does not demand its own way. It is not irritable, and it keeps no records of being wronged. It does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins out. Love never gives up, never loses faith, is always hopeful, and endures through every circumstance. I chose that particular scripture today because it is befitting the story that I'm about to share with you. My husband John and I had 3 wonderful children. Our youngest was John. John was he was a good student and in elementary school, and played in band throughout his high school years, and had this great desire of going to play for Grambling State University, and he did so. He played there and he graduated there, but it was not without its hardships. For you see, John developed bipolar disorder while he was in college, and according to statistics, you develop that somewhere between 21 to 26. It's a possibility that you could develop it. It was a devastating time for me as his mother. As a family, it was devastating for us. But nevertheless, that was the condition that he had. And it was our goal to stand by John. My husband and I stood by him. And John got on medication, but John refused to take it. But I want to remind each of you today that mental illness is just that. You're not crazy, but you have an illness that somehow makes you dysfunctional, and you need to take the medicine in order to do your work, to have a viable life. John graduated with a degree in music, and he really wanted to teach band. He wanted to teach band because he loved band so much. But it didn't work for him because the students would irritate him, and he would get so frustrated. So he could never hold a job because he refused to take the meds. And I believe that he refused to take the meds because the meds were too strong. And I tried to intervene into this situation because he was under Dallas County's Mental Health Mental Retardation Center. And I asked them if they would reduce the power of the medication. Perhaps he would take it if it didn't zombie him out. But they told me, you cannot speak for him. He has to speak for himself. And he wasn't willing to say anything because he was not going to take the meds. Well, the long and the short of the story is this. One Friday, the Friday after Thanksgiving in 2008, John met his destiny out on Loop 12, less than a mile from our home. He was killed in a single car accident, and it was all because he would not take his meds. My friends, I'm not sure who I'm talking to today, but may I say to you, if you have a mental illness, if you can hear me, if there's anyone who can intercede for you, I invite you to learn all you can. I invite you to go to groups and try to work your way through this with your family. But most of all, I encourage you to take your meds. And for those of us who love them so much, I know we want to help them to do that. So my friends, that's just another story that I tell you about, and wow, what a ride. My life has been filled with so much, but I'm not trying to keep it to myself. I hope to use my stories to empower some other parent, some friend, some loved one to help those who are walking the path with you. And I offer this today because I believe that nothing is impossible. It was hard, difficult working with John, but because we loved John with this unconditional love that is spoken to us from 1 Corinthians 13th chapter, we hung in there. We never gave up. And believe me, it was a devastating blow to lose our son. But I am here today as a witness to say that with love, nothing is impossible. You can live through the devastation and the challenges of even mental illness. Be aware, my friends. Don't take it lightly. Get to know about it. Don't ignore the signs. And for those of us who find ourselves super stressed, you're not crazy if you're having depression. You just may need to see someone who can help you to level out and think through your thoughts. I encourage you, and why would I do that? Because I did it for myself. You see, I truly believe that nothing is impossible with God. May you be blessed by hearing this message. Goodbye.